Welcome back. You can tell a lot about someone without that person even making a sound. The same goes for photos, right? The saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if you've been watching Washington this week, well, or even the past couple weeks, it's really been a sight to behold. Just this week, President Biden making a bold primetime speech, appearing to read the teleprompter instructions during his Oval Office address, reading out words such as "make it clear" as part of his sentence, to Jim Jordan waking up early with a rally presser. So what is being said with all of this body language? That's our Body Talk segment today. We're joined by body language expert Patti Wood. Thank you so much for joining us, Patti. You know, there's a lot for us to break down this week, and a lot of us, obviously, all eyes were on Washington. I want to start with President Biden. He had a speech last night. The first segment that I want you to break down is right here.
If Putin attacks a NATO ally, we will defend every inch of NATO which the treaty requires and calls for. We'll have something that we do not seek. Make it clear, we do not seek. We do not seek to have American troops fighting in Russia.
All right, Patti, we see his body language there. It was when we first started, sort of raised his hand off the desk. What's your take on that?
Well, it's very fascinating in context because most of his speech, he held his hands in what I call hold up the earth position, a cradling motion, so that when he actually pointed as he spoke about Putin, it powered up the message. It made it very clear that he's not afraid of Putin and he's ready to attack if he needs to. It really stood out in his very calm demeanor throughout speech.
Right. And so I'm obviously speaking to millions of Americans. So you're saying that the message was powered up. When he talked about the USA, the United States being a beacon of hope, I want to play this to you because this sort of stood out to me as well. Here it is.
America is a beacon to the world. Still. We can't let petty, partisan, angry politics get in the way of our responsibilities as a great nation. We cannot and will not let terrorists like Hamas and tyrants like Putin win. I refuse to let that happen.
So, Patti, I saw his hands there in a couple motions. I saw the finger again, but then I also saw both of them come up. What is that?
Well, there was quite a bit going on. This is at the very end of his speech, and he had both power language, vocal emphasis. He warmed up the voice and brought it up energetically, as well as the pointing again to emphasize that he is powerful and he's ready. It just was so strong at the end of that entire speech. So I think what he communicated is that he's confident and exactly what he said, that we're strong.
You know, as a president, and I want to switch to Jim Jordan, but just real quickly, is this something that behind the scenes they work on, that you do use body language, that it's not inherent?
In fact, I'm a media coach, so I coach politicians, I coach CEOs of companies to be present and be strong in their speeches and in their media interviews. So yes, you can absolutely coach. What's harder to coach that he actually has is sincerity. One of those indications of honesty and credibility is the gestures match what he's saying. The timing is absolutely on point. So we trust him.
Right. And so we have obviously all eyes at Washington for a myriad of reasons, as they typically are, obviously not the president, but also Jim Jordan. We've been talking about him all week, a potential Speaker of the House, which is not. But I want to get your take with him at a press conference. I'm curious if you will still see some of those leadership qualities that we talked about. Here he is.
I think there were all kinds of problems with the 2020 election. I've been clear about that. My intention in forwarding the email was an argument made by former Inspector General for Donald Rumsfeld, accomplished lawyer who laid out an argument from the Federalist Papers. I forwarded it on to them. That was all it was.
You know, Patti, he seems authentic to me, but is he displaying the same sincerity, authenticity? What is it?
There's some fear in his delivery. One of the most obvious things to me is his whole body orientation. His pelvic window and his heart window are actually turned away from the podium toward away from the media, as if he wants to get out of the room and not spend a lot of time there. And that's also emphasized, you can't quite see it, but he has cards in his hand and he's playing with them. That's a comfort cue set, and also belies the fact that he doesn't want to be there. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.